right. So, welcome to our stream, our College of Lore stream. I'm Jill.
And I am Kate. This is just a casual little stream. So we are working on a couple videos having to do with creating custom backgrounds. And so for those videos, we have to make some custom backgrounds. And we figured we might as well stream ourselves doing that. Because neither of us, have you ever done it before, Jill? Have you made a custom background?
No, I've worked with a lot of players on kind of making the backgrounds fit. So, I would take a background from the D&D handbook and then kind of, this one doesn't work, so I'll go flip to another background and use one of those options instead. But I've never made a completely custom one from scratch before.
Right. And I think that's what they suggest in the rulebook, like when I was reading it.
Mm-hmm.
When they talk about custom backgrounds, they suggest sort of taking one of the existing ones and tweaking it.
Right. And I've done that quite a bit. A lot of my players will do that, and I've done that myself as well. I wanted a sailor background for one of my characters, but we were never going to be on a ship, so I took a little bit from the soldier background to kind of mix it together to make something that made more sense in the setting.
Yeah. Cool. So we did a Twitter poll of some different options. I'm just bringing it up here to see if I can rattle them off real quick so everyone can know what they missed out on. Although I was thinking too, depending on how long this takes us, we might just do this one, but if we feel up to it, we could do.
Well, we could always do another one another day.
Yeah, it's true. Right, so the options were, and Jill thought of all of these, by the way, in 10 minutes. I had been thinking for a week, and I'm like, I don't know of any backgrounds I want. So, deity stripped of power, friend of a monster, raised by wolves, or time traveler. And as it stands, deity stripped of power is winning at 45%.
Ooh.
Friend of a monster is at 29 in second place. So if we have time, maybe we can do friend of a monster after this.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we're starting off with deity stripped of power. So we need a blurb for this. Little blurb. Blurb talking about...
You've noticed that there's lots of blurbs. Yeah. And well, you can see here, we just got a little Google Doc set up, and we set up all the different headers that we're going to need to fill in, all the different things that are parts of backgrounds. Oh, let's scroll up. And so do you think it makes sense to... Yeah, I like blurb C.
Yeah, well, I think it is a good word.
It was a typo at first, but we stuck with it.
Yeah. Sounds like a delicious drink.
Yeah, so I think that's a good idea. Let's start with a bit of a blurb here. We can always edit our blurb later, but let's get something rough down here to get the gist of what we're talking about. So here's a question that I have, Jill.
Okay.
This deity stripped of power. So in Dungeons and Dragons, in the lore, there are many existing gods, right?
Yes.
Lathander, whatever. There's a whole bunch of them. I don't know even close to all of them myself, but I do know that there's already an existing detailed pantheon, right?
Yeah, if anyone wants to take a peek, they're on page 293 of the player's handbook.
I want to take a peek. Yeah. So, but my question is this. When you take this background, is the idea that you are one of these existing gods whose power has been stripped for the purposes of this campaign? Or are you some new god that's not in this book whose power has been stripped?
Right. I mean, I think it would be easier for... Okay, keep going.
Or is it one or the other? Can you choose?
Yeah, so, I mean, I think going to the back of the book and kind of looking at your options would be a great place to start, because it's a pretty vast topic we're looking at here, because each deity has an alignment and suggested domains. So maybe maybe that could be maybe a suggestion, like if you want to look at pre-existing deities, but you would be able to kind of like, I think it would make more sense and more fun to be able to kind of roll your options, like what alignment are you? Here are some options and a little blurb on what they mean. And then like here are
Yeah.
some suggested domains. So maybe you'd roll once and get lawful evil, but then you also got like nature. Like what would a lawful evil nature deity look like, right?
Interesting. Okay. So here's my thoughts. I think
Okay.
Alex is agreeing with us. I was thinking a lesser god, not in the pantheon, but would work for established deities too if the player wants.
Totally.
So how about this? We write this little blurb as though they're going to come up with their own unique lesser deity.
Yeah.
And we can show them how, or give some suggestions about how to randomize the characteristics of that god if they don't already know what they want, in the same way that we're going to suggest personality traits and stuff.
Yeah.
But then the variant down below could be just choose one of the existing gods, and that god has had its power stripped. You're going to need your GM's approval to do that, of course, because
Definitely.
if that god features in any way in the campaign that they're putting you on, it messes everything up.
But can you imagine how interesting it would be if you worked with your GM and the GM found out that like one of the clerics in the party was praying to this deity, and then it turned out that they were like their party member was the deity all along? Like what kind of situation would that create?
You're like investigating these strange occurrences or these rumors that, because in D&D, the gods are very much interacting,
right,
in a sort of provable way with humanity, right?
Right.
So like clerics of that god would know that something is up.
Right. Like they're not talking back to me or whatever.
They all lost their powers.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'm sure they're listening still.
Yeah. You just need to believe in yourself a little more.
Yeah.
Right, so I think that the idea here is you are a lesser god.
Right.
Who... What, you've done something wrong, or like how?
I think that would be part of what you're figuring out. Like, were you dethroned? Were you stripped because you did something wrong? Do you not have enough followers in the world, so you don't, like you've fallen from deity status, like just by not being, popular enough?
Let's write these things down.
Yeah,
so
why?
Maybe you did something
to offend the other deities. And if anybody has any suggestions, like follow Alex's lead and just give us more.
Looking for collaboration and ideas here.
Yeah.
So, currently, why would a deity have been stripped of their power? So maybe you did something to offend the other deities. What were other things that you said there, Jill? You had a few ideas.
Or maybe like they don't have enough worshipers anymore, so they've fallen from grace in that way, maybe.
Christmas movies where Santa loses powers because people don't believe. Exactly. I was just thinking what's that Jack Frost movie called?
Jack Frost.
Is it just called Jack Frost?
I'm not sure.
And we watched it recently with Neil's kids, and that's the main story. It's like Santa and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy.
Oh, Legend of the Guardians.
Yes.
So there was another one that I said. What was it?
Your lesser god who has had their power stripped from them. Why?
Oh, like something evil dethroned them. Like something, or not, maybe not evil, but they were dethroned or defeated in some way.
Evil force strip you.
Put an opposing force, because if they're in,
you could be evil.
Yeah. And Kate's doing all the typing because my keyboard is too loud.
Too loud mechanical keyboard. Yep. All right, so we've got the why. And this
Um,
will all get edited so that it's
that
embedded,
it's, yeah, totally.
profesh
Yeah,
looking.
profesh.
So godly characteristics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So oh dear, you will need to determine what things do they need to determine. You were saying alignment. I'm looking at the God tables
Yeah.
here. Domains.
Domain, yeah.
Symbol?
Yeah, sure. I think that would be interesting to have because, like, say they, when they're taken, like, when they've take their powers, well, when their power is taken away, how many memories do they have? Like, do they remember everything? Or, because if they didn't remember everything, like, they don't have omnipotent knowledge anymore. Like, they don't have this, like, overview of everything. But, like, anytime they saw their symbol, they'd know that that was a place where maybe they'd have favor.
Right.
Because
So
you
yeah,
know how. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
the question of how much they remember is interesting.
Yeah.
How much do you remember? This could range from almost nothing
Mm-hmm.
with almost nothing with just like a sense of familiarity.
Right.
Or you could have full memory
Mm-hmm. Like, remember who did
of your
what to you.
past. Like you remember everything that has happened, and you remember having like omniscience,
Yes.
but you don't have it anymore.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like you wouldn't remember, like, the omniscient things that you knew before.
Well, maybe you do. Like it's
Yeah.
just you can
Yeah, that's
figure
true,
this
because
out.
you could be totally know it all, like, person kind of a thing. Like, yeah. You'd know all this random trivia because you just knew everything.
Yeah.
It's like, how many licks does it take to get to
Now,
the center of
I have
a
a
Tootsie
question.
Roll?
Do you know, are all gods or all deities omniscient in D&D?
No, I don't think they are. I don't think any of them are technically omniscient. I just think that they're like they know things about their you know area of expertise, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, how
Well,
would you
yeah, so
ever sneak up on one?
I actually think, because like, what are the benefits of this background if it's not some kind of knowledge?
I was thinking about that. Um, I feel like it would kind of be like they would have glimpses of whatever their like specialty is. Like, if you were a god of war, like, maybe you would have something related to that, or maybe there should be more of a general thing for all deities that they would have. um, I'm trying to think of some of the backgrounds I had been reading about that had uh, like kind of interesting. Let me see.
Like features?
Yeah, like really interesting features that I think could be like sideways related to this. Let me just open up a separate computer so that I'm not screwing with our stream. I've learned my lesson. I've learned it so hard.
Yeah. Until next time, anyway.
Yeah, until next time. Until I forget what caused it, and then we have this situation all over again.
Interesting.
Because there was some that were like, I think in the, what's it called? Tomb of Annihilation book, for example, they had a couple of specific backgrounds to that campaign. And one of them was like the anthropologist who kind of could glean conversations just by observing, like, even if they didn't speak the language, they could spend some time kind of watching them interact and might be able to understand almost any language just by observing their mannerisms and kind of getting a feel for the culture.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like that kind of shows how kind of broad or like a little bit powerful these features can be.
For sure.
So like, is there like, could knowledge be something like they could tap into their prior knowledge
For
to
sure.
Like, how strong do we make this? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, so you can tap into the knowledge of your past to uncover.
So here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Your domain
Right.
is going to be something very specific,
Right.
And perhaps because you've got a lot of knowledge and expertise in that domain based on your past, as long as you have lots of memory from that, then you could gain like advantage on
history checks related to history, religion. Oh, you should have proficiency in religion.
Well, let's write down skill proficiencies in religion.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And
then,
but then when you're doing a religion check or any other check that has to do with your domain, you get advantage on
definitely.
So is that part of a feature?
I think that would be part of a feature. I'm going to quickly refresh my memory a bit. So, like, for example, like the Acolyte, they've got one where it's like you can command the respect of those who share your faith, and you can perform the religious ceremonies of your deity.
Yep.
So, I wonder if part of the feature would be followers of you. Like, if you run into anyone who has your symbol or whatever, could you have advantage on, like, charisma checks with them or something like that? Like, you might have more sway. Or like if you did run into a temple of your thing. But another thing too is like, would they believe you that you are this person? Like, would you have to convince them like, hey, listen.
Because I'm
couldn't. Totally the deity. Like, I am like Jehoshaphat the Mighty. You gotta believe me. Let me in the temple. You should feed me.
It might not be that way that you do it, though.
Yeah.
It might be that you understand your followers. So you have advantage on a charisma check with them.
Yeah, because some of them might respond better to being intimidated. Some of them might respond better to being persuaded.
So is it history and religion? Are those the relevant knowledge skills now?
Let me take a peek, Rooney.
I think history and religion. Or could we just say when you make any skill check related to your domain, you have advantage?
Yeah, and that would be up to the GM's discretion. Yeah. We could put an example in there, like, for example, like a religion check or a history check related to your domain. Because I mean, if they were a nature domain, they would probably have survival skills and nature skills. Yeah. If they were war, they might have, like, who knows, like acrobatics, and if they were magic, they'd have arcana and stuff. So
I'm just gonna leave it vague like that for now.
Yeah. Okay. We might be able to figure this a little more solidly later, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So that's part of the feature description. Now, something else that you said caught my interest as well. So for either the feature or maybe the special thing, the sometimes special thing, I like the idea. So you've been stripped of your godly powers, your deity powers.
Right.
But maybe you do have some leftover ability. And I think that a cool way to represent that would be to say that you can have, like, you can know a cantrip related to your domain.
Ooh, that would be really cool.
Is that a special thing or a feature? I'm not sure about the difference between the special things and features, to be clear.
Okay, let me look. I feel like that would be a feature. Why did I not go? I tabbed
not
it
a special
off.
thing. Like for criminal specialty is like the kind of criminal you are. Maybe our special thing is like the type of deity you are.
Yeah,
So
definitely. And you'd roll on the table to see, or you know, the list would be there, but you'd also roll.
I'm gonna do this.
If you wanted to.
This little blurb is gonna start with
Okay, we've got our sometimes a special thing blurb figured out. Perfect.
A little bit. It started anyway.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. This is shaping up. Tool proficiencies are going to be tricky because I feel like that would depend a lot on, or maybe you wouldn't have any tool proficiencies for this. You don't need tool proficiencies. I feel like maybe languages would make more sense for.
Oh yeah, language would make
more sense than a tool proficiency.
What kind of languages are there for deities? Is there like?
I'm gonna put a strike through if I can figure it out.
Do you have do you know Celestial?
Oh yeah, I think they know Celestial. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, cute. I like it.
And then like maybe.
Are we saying we don't really want a tool proficiency?
Yeah, I don't think tool proficiencies make sense, and usually in the backgrounds they either have. Some of them have both, yeah. But I think it's kind of like. Let me see. Two tool proficiencies, or 2 languages.
Okay, so maybe we can pick another language.
Or we can say Celestial and one of your choice, because the second one would be related to
whatever
their followers, probably.
And I think we do need 2 skill proficiencies, right? Generally?
Yeah, I think so.
So I feel like, in my mind, it should be a wisdom-based...
Yeah.
What about insight?
Ooh, I do like insight.
Or perception. I think I like...
Perception is good, too. But I think insight into people makes sense. Because, I mean...
I like insight.
But do all deities care about followers?
No, it doesn't... Because insight doesn't... Does insight necessarily relate to insight about people?
I thought so. What else? Oh, I guess you can kind of use insight for... Well, investigation is more about stuff. And I thought insight was more about people. Correct us if we're wrong in the chat. Feel free to chime in.
It could also be a charisma-based.
Oh, I like the idea of having the other one be charisma-based.
Intimidation. So it could be either intimidation or persuasion. You can pick one.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that, because depending on your deity.
That seems good.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. So starting equipment.
I need to have a look at what some of the starting equipment things are. Or, I mean, maybe just look at the equipment, because...
Well, some examples are like the criminal starts with a crowbar, a set of dark common clothes, including a hood, and a pouch containing 15 gold.
Right.
Let's see. Let's check the acolyte. The acolyte starts with a holy symbol, a gift to you when you entered the priesthood, a prayer book or prayer wheel, 5 sticks of incense, vestments, a set of common clothes, and a pouch containing 15 gold pieces. I'm going to check Urchin real quick because I want to see what they have. A small knife, a map of the city you grew up in, a pet mouse, a token to remember your parents by, a set of common clothes, and a pouch containing 10 gold pieces. So
there should be. This isn't. I think this is like maybe one of the hardest things. Like, what would you have?
yeah, I think part of it would almost depend on what happened to you after you were stripped of power. Like, did you fall into a city? Were people nice to you? Were people mean to you? Did you have to steal to get money?
Well, and also, like, maybe. Is there anything that you would reasonably? Yeah. So Alex says a holy symbol, and I've been thinking about that as a potential thing. It seems like an easy one that we could put there, but like, would you have your own holy symbol, or would it be like just any holy symbol that you want?
You might have your own, like the one that you like use to tell your followers about. Like, it's like, look,
like you having like a bunch of your own business cards to give out to people.
That reminds me, we should probably start making business cards, but that's beside the point. I know. I'm wondering about that too, Alex, because it's like, who made the symbols? Did the deities make the symbols, or did the humans following the deities make the symbols? I feel like
they're human made, aren't
they?
Huh.
What if they... Yeah, it's hard, because I'm like, what if they just had, like, a stick and, like, 10 gold pieces or, like, 8 gold pieces? You know what I mean? But then it's like, but what if they had fallen into a temple and, they took care of them there, right? Like, how do we know?
I'm sort of thinking that... so I'm thinking about giving this background a free cantrip, right?
Oh, yeah. So maybe they don't really have equipment. They have, like, common clothes. No money. Why would they have money? Why would they have money?
They don't have money, and they don't really have any things. But they'll have some, like, extra magical ability.
Yeah.
That other people don't have.
It's true.
Hopefully we balance this background so that the lack of equipment is balanced out by other stuff. What do you think about that?
Let's do it. I mean, we don't want to make something that's exactly like what's in the book anyway.
Right. That's
equipment none. Sorry. Maybe they have enough to cover their naughty bits.
Well, I mean, you can get that. Like
they have a leaf. They have 3 or 4 leaves just strategically placed.
When you roll a character, you have a certain amount of gold, right? Like the gold that you get in your background is bonus gold if you get it.
Yeah, true.
So they'll be able to have like clothes and whatever. It's just that they don't get anything additional.
Yeah.
For this background.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Okay. So so I think this cantrip will have to go in the feature.
Okay. So the first part of the feature, let's put features because we're going to have more than one. Yeah. So the first is you have vast knowledge in your domain. When you make any skill check related to your domain, you have advantage. Mm-hmm. And then in addition, one cantrip related to your domain. That make sense?
Yeah. At your DM's discretion. At your GM's discretion. Work with your GM for this. Because
GM. I mean, you usually have to get all this stuff cleared by your DM.
It's true. It's true.
Especially if you're using a background that was created by 2 ladies on the internet, right?
It's true. It's true. I mean, if I was DMing for you, I would let you use it. Just, I'm putting that out there, everyone in the world. If I was your DM.
I'm contemplating using the background that we create in the game next week, if you let me.
I will. Yeah, totally. I'm your DM for that game, so I will allow it.
Because you just told me you would, so you have to now?
I have to. I'm held to that. It's like you become this like super powerful character and like nothing's a challenge and you're just like rolling through things. Yeah. It's like, well,
yeah, at the end of the session I'll be like, well, I'm bored, so I'm gonna kill Jason and Camille. I'm like, no, that one cantrip is so overpowered.
Who knew? Like, who knew Minor Illusion could be so powerful?
Okay, so I think we have a little bit of a blurb that we can flesh out later as needed.
Right.
We've got skill proficiencies. We've figured out no tool proficiencies. We've got our languages. We've got no equipment.
Right.
I think now what we should do is figure out a good suggestion for how to randomly determine your alignment. Like,
I think it's just going to be like, you know.
So here's my question. Is it 2 die rolls or is it just 1 die roll?
I think it would have to be 2.
So that you can determine like, well, it wouldn't have to be because you could, how many total different ones are there? 9?
Well, I mean like I think you'd have to choose your alignment separately from your domain, right?
Oh yeah, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry.
What page is the gods on again?
253? Is that right? Did I make that? I think that's wrong. 283. Nope, I'm wrong again. 293.
There was a 2 and a 3.
Yeah, I knew the first, the last number.
Okay, so let's go. Right. So you are either lawful, neutral, or chaotic for the first part, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then evil, neutral, or good. So it could be 2 separate D3 rolls, or how many different combinations are there of those 3 things? Does anybody remember high school mathematics?
So isn't it 9?
I think so. That's what I said.
Because like I'm picturing the grid, and I think it's just 9.
So yeah, there's no such thing as a D9 sided die. So
well, it could be like a D10, and then if you roll 10, you roll again.
Okay, so like, let's write this down. To randomize.
And what's interesting about this is that the alignment of the deity you were doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the alignment of your character.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That can go into your backstory.
Yeah. I think we should make that clear, though, because if you rolled, like, lawful evil, but your DM doesn't want, you know, lawful evil characters, and understandably, like, some people, especially new players, probably shouldn't start out with an evil character, because they could be tricky.
So your character alignment does not need to match your deity's original alignment.
Which I think is pretty interesting, too, because it's kind of like, you know, like you might be this, like, neutral character, but you came from this, like, super evil thing and you're kind of rethinking your life. Or maybe they do match and your personality hasn't changed and you haven't grown at all. You haven't learned anything from the situation, right? Like, so it could go either way.
Yeah. So I wrote, your character alignment does not need to match your deity's original alignment, but if there is a difference between the two, you can explain how the difference emerged in your backstory.
Love it. Perfect.
And then to randomize, it's either 2d3 or 1d10 and reroll 10s. And then we would create a little table, right? So if it's like 2d3, then we would say what 1, 2, and 3 are, and for both of them.
It's so tricky because, like, all these, you know, all the other, what are they called? Charts? What are these called? Graphs? Anyway, they all end on even numbers so that it's like a sensible number to roll. So it's kind of funny that we're like,
Well,
I don't know how else you would do it, so.
D3 is a thing. It's not a thing in D&D, but it's just like on a D6,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
1s and 2s, 3s and 4s, 5s and 6s.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, so I wrote, you can choose an alignment if you like, or to randomize, use dice.
Yep.
That make
Perfect.
sense?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm going to just say page 293 here so that they could go to this section to look at the different alignments and domains that exist.
Yes. Yeah. We might have to say which book since this isn't actually in the player's handbook.
Wait, what?
Like for page 293, like we in this document we're creating, we might have to specifically type in like page 293 in
Okay. I thought you were saying page 293 isn't in the player's handbook. And
Oh,
I was
I'm
like,
sorry.
Because I'm looking at it right now.
Sorry, I meant the sheet that we're typing on. Sorry.
That's okay. All right. So for domain, same thing. You can just choose one.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks to me like sometimes there's more than one. But would you just like?
You could say choose 1 to 2.
Can you choose more than one? Yeah, you can choose 1 or 2, right?
Yeah.
1 to 2 domains to randomize. We'll need to create a randomized table for these. So what I would probably do is we'll create like a little list of all these different domains, or find a list if one exists online, and then figure out a way to randomize that.
Yep, that sounds good to me. I like how there's some in here that like the deities of Dragonlance, and then there's some that are just like no clerics. No clerics.
Yeah.
I don't know why. If anyone does know why who's watching, please let me know. But I think it's kind of funny.
Forgotten Realms, everyone. Interesting. Okay. So, holy symbol. Is this, again, you can just choose.
Maybe we shouldn't do that one.
What?
Maybe for symbol, like maybe the symbol part should be up in the blurb, because I don't think we're going to make a table for it, are we? Because, I mean, they would just make it up themselves, right?
Well, we could. So here's the thing. That's the same thing with personality traits, right? Mm-hmm. But it's nice to have a way for them to randomize if they can't think of something themselves. So that's the whole point of having.
It's just, I feel like it'd be kind of weird if they made up their own deity and then rolled on a table of pre-existing deity symbols.
I agree, but I think that's true of every table that we roll on in a background. And that's, like, the tables are there so that you can, like, roll the die and see if you like the one that you come up on. And if you don't, you can use those as, like, ways to spark your imagination about other things that you can choose. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just like with the domain and with the alignment, you can just choose one that you like, or to randomize. And then
we'll have like 8 options of just whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll pick 8. Like, we'll go through the ones that exist here and
alter them slightly so that they're original.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't even have to be original. You can just pick some of the ones. I guess you wouldn't want it to be a holy symbol that is the same as for another god. So we would have to look through it.
We can tweak them.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Cool.
I scrolled us down a little bit on the sheet.
Sounds good. All right. So are we at suggested characteristics now?
Yeah, I think we are. I'm going to scroll down more. Okay, there we go. I didn't want to go too fast to make anyone who might be watching nauseous.
This part is going to be the hardest. Maybe it'll be easy for you, but this is the kind of stuff that I really suck at. Like, I always roll on these tables.
Okay, perfect. Let me get my
But I do want to get back. There we go. So, should we start with ideal?
Yeah, sure.
So, your ideal is sort of like your core motivation and morals, right?
Right.
Oh, what are the principles that you will never betray? What would prompt you to make sacrifices? What drives you to act and guides your goals and ambitions? What is the single most important thing you strive for?
So this,
and it looks like these are usually either 6 or 8 options. So
right.
if you can think of 6 or 8 different potential ideals, that would be a good ideal table.
One thing that's kind of cool about the ideals is that they have after them, like, whether they're lawful or good or chaotic or whatever.
Right.
So I feel like that gives us a bit of a hint of what we can work with. And, like, some of them say any, like, they'd work with whatever.
So we want to have some of each in here.
A variety, for sure.
If we have 2 of each and then 2 any, that's 8, right?
Yeah, but I feel like we don't need that many. Because if we had a couple that were any, it kind of covers our butts for...
Sure.
For anything.
Yeah. So do we want to go by... start with good ones?
Okay.
So I think an obvious good one, well, maybe it's not. Maybe this isn't any.
Okay.
But maybe an obvious one is maybe we could. So these tend to just have like a one word thing that summarizes them. And maybe something like restoration. Mm-hmm. You want to restore your power. Does that sound like a good idea?
That might be a bond.
A bond is usually like a link that you have with something else.
Yeah, because like
ideal is like a goal.
Like this one's like a bond. Like I would die to recover an ancient relic of my faith. So like this bond is like I would do anything to recover my status as a deity.
Okay.
So I think that might be a bond.
Okay.
So, all like, right. Some examples of ideals are, like, the ancient traditions of worship and sacrifice must be preserved and upheld. And that's one from the Acolyte. And then that one's tradition, and that's, like, a lawful example. And a good example is charity. I always try to help those in need, no matter what the personal cost. So, and like chaotic change. We must help bring about the changes the gods are constantly working in the world. I don't want to stick on Acolyte too much because I feel like we'll end up... So like entertainer, one of their ideals is beauty. When I perform, I make the world better than it was. Tradition. The stories, legends, and songs of the past must never be forgotten, for they teach us who we are. I feel like we could kind of mooch around on some of these, because some of them I feel like they would fit pretty good for a...
Oh, I definitely think like choosing some of these words is good.
Yeah, because I feel like tradition would work really well. Like if they're still clinging to, you know, they still believe that their religion is what they're trying to achieve, even though they've been stripped of their power, they're still pushing forward with what they were preaching at, well, not preaching, but what they were embodying as a deity. Yeah. So I feel like that would kind of be like tradition would be...
You want to call that tradition?
Yeah, and I think that would be lawful, and that's kind of like the ways the ways I have followed do not change, although my power is diminished or something like that.
Although my power is gone, I still strive for the
ideals I once embodied.
Sure.
We can workshop this later.
For sure.
This one's interesting. So this one's also entertainer. So people. I like seeing the smiles on people's faces when I perform. That's all that matters. So one of theirs could be people, and I treat any person as though they were one of my followers or something like that. Like I treat people with respect, or something that's like relating to people, because I feel like that would be an important one for a fallen deity.
Right.
For some of them, anyway.
So that would be good, maybe?
Yeah, it could be good, for sure.
I always treat people with kindness and respect.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do some like nefarious ones.
Okay. What about power?
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking right now at the Hermit, and their ideal for power is solitude and contemplation are paths toward mystical or magical power. So something like they're doing something consistently to achieve power.
Yes.
Solitude and contemplation are paths toward mystical.
This sounds like kind of what I meant with this. We put it as the bond. I would do anything to recover my status as a deity.
Yeah.
But this power thing is sounding like kind of similar to what I was trying to get at with an ideal.
We can workshop this. I think they could fit for, I think we could have one for both.
Ooh, Camille just put a really good flaw. I do not understand how to live among mortals, and I make common social mistakes.
Yes.
I'll write that down. I wrote love. That's maybe appropriate too.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like it. Okay. Let's get back up to power ideal.
Here's another power ideal that is evil, and this one is under the noble. And they said, if I can attain more power, no one will tell me what to do.
Right. So what's the goal that a deity stripped of power has to gain the power back? I crave.
Oh, yeah, that's how you write it. That is exactly how you do it, Kate. Yes, I crave the power.
I crave control.
Yeah.
Over lesser mortals?
Yeah. I could crave control over the lesser mortals I am surrounded by. Or I am now surrounded by, or something.
I crave control over the lesser mortals I am surrounded by. That's very evil.
That is very evil. Let's see here. Okay, so there's one here for noble that I think something similar might work really well as well. So this one's chaotic.
Okay.
And it says, independence. I must prove that I can handle myself without the coddling of my family. So maybe it's kind of like, I must prove that I can handle myself without the security of my power.
Okay, let's just, what did you just say?
I must prove that I can handle myself without the security of my power.
Boom.
4. Okay.
Should we try for? Oh, what happened?
All
Man's
around
Man's
me.
dead.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't have any
Annies?
Annies.
Okay.
We don't have any Annies.
This one is an Annie, and it says family. Blood runs thicker than water.
Oh, well, this could be like a.
And this, here's another one. This one says glory. I must earn glory in battle for myself and my clan.
Okay.
So I think it's kind of like something that is achievable without necessarily being good or necessarily being evil, but it could be those things. If you
Right.
Aspiration, I work hard to be the best there is at my craft. Destiny, nothing and no one can steer me away from my higher calling.
What's that one for?
That one is for the folk hero.
Destiny. Destiny.
That makes sense to me. Destiny.
And this is Annie, right?
Yeah. So that could be something. So this one, like I said, says nothing and no one can steer me away from my higher calling. It could be something like, regardless of what I do, I will achieve. You know what I mean? Like it could be something like.
What about everything happens for a reason?
That is destiny. Nothing and no one can steer me away from my higher calling.
What did you say before I made that silly joke?
Regardless of my circumstance, this is definitely not it, but like maybe like regardless of my circumstance, I will fulfill my higher calling.
Okay. So the thing that I'm thinking with Destiny with this background is the notion that it's like an acceptance of the fact that your power was stripped from you.
Right.
As that is a part of your destiny. And this is now your journey.
Okay.
How do I
like it? I like it. Yeah. Although my power may be gone.
I have accepted this new path.
Yeah. And we'll follow where it may lead.
Sure.
One more and we're done ideals. So I noticed that we skipped personality traits, because personality traits is another thing that we roll on. Are we skipping it, or are we...
What happened? I just bungled up my headers. So I'll fix it.
We should call it blumbled up. No, blurmbled up.
Blurmbled up.
I blurmbled up my headers.
All right, so we'll
come back to that one.
We'll come back to that one. But we are definitely looking for personality traits too. If anybody has amazing suggestions to type in the chat.
Oh yeah, I'm so ready for more Camille input and more Alex input.
All right.
Okay, one more and we can let ideals drop. So we have, let's see, we have good,
evil.
evil.
Lawful, a good, a evil, a chaotic, and an any.
Okay, so let's see if we missed any. Good, lawful, evil, neutral. Oh, we don't have any neutral.
Let's try for a neutral then.
Okay. Let me look at some neutrals. I think they're a bit more rare on these sheets. But I think it's good that we have a good spread, because we have no idea how they want to spin this character.
Yeah. Any could be neutral. Maybe that's why they're so rare.
That's true. So for people, this one's another one that says people, but I'll read it anyway. It says, I'm loyal to my friends, not to any ideals, and everyone else can take a trip down the sticks for all I care.
Wow.
This one's people as well. I like seeing smiles on people's faces when I perform. That's all that matters.
Too many people ones. We've already got people.
I know. Sincerity. There's no good in pretending to be something I'm not. Ooh. That's interesting.
It is interesting. I just saw another one that is nature. The natural world is more important than all the constructs of civilization. That's in the Outlander
That's
one.
interesting. How would that work if we were a war deity or like a knowledge deity?
Well, then you wouldn't pick that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but what was the one that you said?
Sincerity. There's no good in pretending to be something I'm not.
I kind of like that.
It kind of fits because they're dealing with
Do we want to
their
identity
identity.
that one?
We could just take it straight out from it. I don't see a problem with that.
But hold on though, because this sort of sounds similar to what we just wrote for Destiny.
Oh, right. Destiny. I've accepted this new path. Oh, so maybe that any should be a neutral.
Well, then we need an any.
Let's get an any. I work hard to be the best there is at my craft. Nothing and no one can steer me away from my higher calling. That was the one we mooched off of. Self-knowledge. If you know yourself, there's nothing left to know.
Ooh.
So maybe that's someone who, like, you know, I know who I am. I'm a fallen deity. There's, you know, what else is there to know? So that's self-knowledge.
Maybe. I'm going to no on that one just because I think that one of the interesting conflicts that this character has is who am I now?
Yeah. Bond. Blood runs thicker than water.
Wait, what about like self-discovery?
Yeah, yeah.
Sort of like the opposite.
Yeah. I'm listening.
So self-discovery.
Yeah.
Who am I now? Who am I? Or is this okay for an ideal? We don't want it to be a question, do we?
Right. What if it's something like
I'm striving to understand my identity without my powers or whatever. Maybe this is no good.
No, I like it. I'm trying to figure out how to
word it.
So we're looking for self-discovery. There's one here that says knowledge, the path to power and self-improvement is through knowledge. So I wonder if it's something like, if we can kind of work with that. Ooh. Does that help?
Maybe. Camille says mortality.
Ooh. Oh, that's a really good one, actually. Especially because like they went from being immortal to being mortal now.
Right. Learning what it is to live as a mortal. Sure.
Yeah. I think that works really well.
Or whatever. Perfect.
Right. Yes, yes. So okay. maybe it could be something like, I'll do whatever it takes to learn what it is to live as a mortal, because a lot of these are kind of like a little bit action-y.
What about like, I strive to learn.
Yeah, that works.
What it means to live as a mortal.
Yeah, I love it.
And that'll be neutral.
Perfect.
Doke, do you want to go back up to personality traits, or do you want to do bonds and flaws next? Because we've already got to start on both bonds and flaws.
Maybe we could do like 3 of each, because I feel like we're going to be here for a really long time if we fill it all out right now.
Yeah, we probably.
It's already 10 to 9 our time.
We had so many technological difficulties.
I know. I don't even. Oh, and I can't. Yeah, okay.
Let's figure out a couple more bonds and a couple more flaws then.
Okay, let's do that. So.
Oh, I'm going to go down here while we think about this. I'm going to put in our variant.
Okay, I'm going to scroll down.
Because our variant that we said is fallen greater God.
Yeah. This will be something that...
Choose a god. Choose an existing god
Yep.
to play as who has been stripped of their powers. You should have the approval of your DM to do this, since it could impact the campaign.
You could put it kind of like work closely with your DM if you want to use this variant. Because they'll definitely have a lot of input, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I want to be Vecna.
Yeah. Let's go home. You can't play with me anymore.
Okay, so we're on bonds. Okay, so some more bonds are: I'm trying to pay off an old debt I owe to a generous benefactor. My ill-gotten gains go to... this is all just criminal. My ill-gotten gains go to support my family. I would die to recover an ancient relic of my faith that was lost long ago. I owe my life to the priest who took me in when my parents died. So this is interesting, because this could kind of give some ideas on what happened immediately after you were expunged from the...
It could.
Like, the place. You know, like, maybe it's like, I had to leave the village I landed in.
Yeah.
Or I owe my next life to, and then we could fill that in as one of the bonds.
Yeah. Something else that just popped into my head related to one of our possible reasons for the powers getting stripped away being a lack of belief.
Right, yeah.
You could have like this one person who still just like really strongly believes in you.
Yes. Oh my god, I love it.
And they're like, you just like...
Oh, I have one devout follower who I would do anything for, or something, or like I want to protect, or I want to, like, I have one devout follower.
I would protect my one remaining.
What a sin. Yeah.
Well, I would protect my one remaining devout follower
with my life.
Oh my god. A deity has their power stripped from them and then lays their mortal life down for their one remaining...
It's so cute. It's so cute. I love that. Oh, that's so cute. Oh. I didn't know this would be an emotional stream. Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't get through it.
No, I'd be like, I'll protect you. Here's one that might work, or like to tweak. I will get revenge on the evil forces that destroyed my place of business and ruined my livelihood.
Sure. That is similar to I would do anything to recover my status as a deity.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So,
but it tilts it a little bit more angry, because like the I would do anything to recover my status as deity kind of strikes me as like go collect the 7 chalices and bring them to the Cave of Wonders to connect yourself back to the street. Whereas like revenge is very like, I'm pissed.
It depends on whether we like bold the word anything or not. Right? Like,
oh, anything. You meant anything.
Revenge on whoever is fun. Okay, we could do a revenge.
Yeah.
I seek revenge. Is that a good word?
Yeah, I seek revenge on whoever caused me to be stripped of power.
I'm the one who stole my power.
Oh, that's interesting, because it's like Phrasing it that way is interesting.
Bestowed on somebody else or something like
that. That adds another layer for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
So cool.
Okay, so we have 3 bonds. Do you want to skip to flaws? And because we want to wrap up sometime before tomorrow.
We do.
Okay, so we got one sweet flaw.
I think we should stream till like 9:30.
Okay.
And just stop there, however much we get done. But we can try and get some flaws done. We can try and do a couple
personality traits. Perfect. I love
it.
Okay,
so I love this flaw that we already have.
I do too. It's awesome.
Among mortals, and I make common social mistakes.
Yeah.
Other flaws that you would have as a fallen deity.
You'd keep trying to use your powers for sure. Like you'd be like, okay, don't worry, I can do this, and then you wouldn't be able to. So you're like a little bit.
I constantly think that I can do things that I no longer can.
Yeah, exactly. Like your self-confidence is
still. I constantly overestimate my abilities.
Yeah, definitely. What a sin. It's like, don't worry, I could lift that boulder off for you.
I'll just jump down from this tower. What's happening?
Okay. It reminds me of something, but I don't want to say spoilers for another popular Dungeons & Dragons show. Okay.
Oh, I see. I like how you said another as though we are
someday. Well, by the time people watch, like, more people are watching this and stuff, like...
By the time more than 8 people are watching, which apparently there are
We have 8 people watching? You guys!
I'm chatting with us. We need ideas.
I believe in you, Alex. I believe in you.
We believe in you, lumpy monster.
It's such a good handle. I love it.
I really like Mother Hammer as well.
Yeah.
All right, another flaw.
Okay, here's one from the Guild Artisan. I'm never satisfied with what I have. I always want more. And then all we have to do is tack followers on the end. I try to convert people to my...
Okay, Camille wrote one flaw. I look down on the other mortals.
It's true.
Yeah. Okay, let's write that down. Okay. I look down on the other mortals, and then what was I was just thinking of one. Oh, you're like a terrible used car salesman.
Yeah, but constantly trying to get people to follow you. Yes. Oh, Alex has a good one too, and I think that works well with Camille's.
I speak to others as though they are beneath me. So I look down on other mortals and speak to them as though they are beneath me.
Yeah. I think that makes it, like, those two together are a very strong flaw.
Very rich.
Very rich. Yeah, very rich flaw.
Wow, we somehow ended up with 4 flaws. Overachievers.
Oh, gosh, yeah, now we're on to... maybe ideals was just the hardest one.
Well, we're having trouble with bonds, too.
That's true.
Well, let's go for personality traits. I think this will be fun.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, here's one from Hermit, but I don't think it might not work as well. But I've been isolated for so long that I rarely speak, preferring gestures and the occasional grunt. What if they struggle to communicate because they only know Celestial and a language that isn't common? Because, like, we gave them as their starting language, we didn't give them common. We said their starting language is Celestial.
Yeah, but your race or class, your race.
Yeah, your race gives...
Your race will give you usually common.
Well, maybe they're not used to using their mouth, though.
Yes, true.
Like, I find it difficult to speak verbally. They keep trying to use telepathic powers.
I can't.
I'm so used to communicating telepathically that I find it difficult to use my mouth to make words. That almost sounds like a flaw.
Yeah. There's some here like, I am horribly, horribly awkward in social situations. That sounds similar to the flaw we wrote down below. And then I speak slowly when talking with idiots.
Yeah, that one fits. I have difficulty communicating, whether it is due to speaking with fools or my.
Yeah. Okay, like yeah, let's do like a communication, like a social communication one.
Okay.
So
Oh, I think I gotta scroll up. Whoops. There we go.
what about so this one, I'm horribly, horribly awkward in social situations.
I think that fits really well. Um,
All right, what else?
I have a terrible sense of humor because maybe they're not like I feel like they wouldn't use humor
I have
much.
no sense of
I have
humor.
no sense of humor yet. This one's kind of interesting. I'm looking at the charlatan, and it says I fall in and out of love easily, and I'm always pursuing someone. This brings Zeus to mind a little bit, like how deities might always be able to get whoever they want, but like now that they're mortal, they might have these crushes or something, but like it's too bad, so sad. You're just some person.
Right. Another way we could go with these personality traits to like shake it up a bit is that you are very charismatic, because we did choose as the
that's true.
The skill proficiency a charisma based one.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, Roz.
Maybe it could be something like
I have a way of speaking that inspires people.
Oh, I have one. I was just looking at this one for folk hero. I'm confident in my own abilities and do what I can to instill confidence in others. So, like, what were you? How did you say it? You said more.
I'll write it what I said. Okay. I have a way of speaking that inspires people.
I love it.
And then we could do like an intimidation one, because that was
I'm gonna look at
because these are all social personality traits, I guess.
Well, yeah. I could stare down a hellhound without flinching. I enjoy being strong and breaking things. I'm looking at soldier.
Camille says, I'm so excited to live my new life.
Aww.
Should we write that? Is that a personality trait or is it something different?
I am so excited to live my new life. Maybe it would be maybe it would be something like I approach every situation with optimism. Or something like that. Like it's like they're excited and since everything's new
to live as a mortal, and I approach every situation with optimism.
Yeah. So let's just do a quick overview of what we have so far.
Okay, scroll
we've got our blurm, our opening blurm. We've got our skill proficiencies. We're not doing tool proficiencies. We've got languages and no equipment. Oh, we wanted to come up with a cantrip. Oh, we already did that part. The cantrip.
Yeah, they get to choose whatever cantrip they want as long as they can reason that it's related to the domain.
Right. Okay, we've got our special things to get their god figured out.
Figuring out what your god is like, what your alignment is, what domains you have, and what symbol represents you.
Right. We've got our features, which is really cool because there's 2. When we flesh it out, we'll probably make it 2 paragraphs or something, maybe.
Yeah. But
Um,
basically, the two are you get to have advantage on any skill checks related to your domain, and that cantrip. You'll get to know a cantrip related to your domain.
mhm. uh, so then we have our personality traits, our ideals, our bonds, and our flaws, and then our variant. I think we did pretty good today so far.
I think so
I
too.
wonder if we can
That
come
was
up
just
with
very
one more
quick.
bond. Do you think we can do another bond? We only have 3.
Let's so let's try.
Okay.
But something else that I was thinking too
Yeah.
is that we can maybe post what we have and people can make suggestions to us if they want
Yeah, that's true.
for additions or changes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I was
bonds.
trying
I
to
would do
follow
anything
your
to withhold
little.
my status as
There you
a
go.
D. I would protect my one remaining devout follower with my life. I
Oh,
love
it's
that.
still so cute.
Take revenge on the one who stole my power. Um,
Maybe they're still in contact with another deity,
yeah.
and that could be a bond.
Yeah.
I.
My lover, their lover is, yeah.
They're.
Camille says what Jill says. You don't have a celestial bond. Yeah, what Jill said. Okay. So, um,
Yeah. So
with,
I'm still connected to a deity I was close with
I'm
previously.
still connected to a deity I was close with when I had
Yeah.
my powers.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Sweet.
I think we did pretty darn good so far.
I like it.
Me too. This is really fun.
It is fun. Yeah, and we're definitely not done. Like, I would
No.
love to have 6 to 8 things for each of these.
Yeah,
And we
definitely.
need to, yeah, flesh some stuff out. But this is a good
Very
outline.
good jumping off point.
Cool.
Huh. Well, I'm pretty happy. And
Yeah, so we'll keep working on this because I do think I would like to try and use it in our game because we're streaming a D&D game run by Jill this coming Saturday.
yeah, we
So
are.
I would love to have this ready for then. And then that will also set us up for a video that we're going to make, sort of a tutorial on how to come up with a custom background
Yep.
based on this exercise that we're doing here. And then we'll also be creating a video where we create a couple characters with this same background
Mm-hmm.
to show sort of how different the characters could end up being.
Yeah. Actually, I would love it if you use this background in the game because I think it would be a great way to play test it and see,
Yeah.
is it too powerful or with
Yeah.
the cantrip and the stuff, or like maybe you didn't
Yeah.
have any starting equipment, so it made it really difficult. So
Yeah. I like this.
I like
Cool.
it too. I'm really happy with what we came up with.
Very
So
nice.
thanks for being awesome, Kate.
Oh, right back at you, Jill.
And thank you guys for watching us and helping us and coming up with such good ideas. That was awesome.
Yeah, I love this. I hope we can do more stuff like this.
Yeah. Like kind of having like more people in on it and enjoying the company.
For sure.
Do we want to do any more with this or do we want to call it done for now? And
I think we're good.
yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for watching us and participating with us. And I hope you guys had fun. We had a lot of fun.
For sure.
So yeah, catch us on Saturday. I know Camille sure will.
You'll be on the screen with us.
Yeah, you too, Alex. Have a great night. And thanks for helping us out. Good night, everybody.
Bye.